Hello there, everyone, and thank you for joining in with me today in another new episode of Echoes of History. I'm your host, Noah Hernandez, and today we're talking about something real and powerful, the East Los Angeles walkouts. This is the story of students who were tired of being treated unfairly and decided to do something about it. So let's go back in time to the late 1960s in East Los Angeles. At that time, many Mexican American students went to schools like Garfield High School, Roosevelt High School, Lincoln High School, and Wilson High School. And from the early 1960s, students already knew something wasn't right. Their schools were overcrowded, books were old, or falling apart. Sometimes they had a share, but the worst part was how they were treated. Some teachers didn't believe in them. They thought these students wouldn't succeed if they spoke Spanish.
The educational process of Mexican Americans for over 20 years in East Los Angeles and throughout the Southwest has been disrupted by its failure to communicate with the Mexican American. That is the disruption. When 57% of the students at Garfield drop out year after year, there has to be a problem. We're not operating in a vacuum. There's social injustice.
They could be punished, and they weren't taught about their own culture, so it made them feel like they didn't matter. But by the mid-1960s, things started to change. A teacher named Sal Casserole began encouraging students to speak up. He told them they were smart and that their voices mattered.
I walked in this morning and they told me I could not teach, that I would have to go downtown to personnel, that I could not teach.
Who told you that?
The principal.
At the same time, student leaders like Paula C. and Vicky Casserole started meeting and planning. They were supposed to be activists like Casserole Munzo Jr. and Rosalio Munzo. Students met in houses and in churches, talking about what needed to change, and most importantly, what they were going to do about it. They came March 1st, 1968. Students at Wilson High School walked out of class. They didn't just leave school, but they made a statement. Over the next few days, more schools started to join. Students from Garfield High School, Roosevelt High School, and Lincoln High School walked out too. By March 6, more than 15,000 students have walked out. Now, people were paying attention, but not everyone supported them. Police stepped in and 13 leaders were arrested. They became known as the East LA 13. But even after that, the students didn't stop. They kept pushing for change. They wanted better books, less crowded classrooms, teachers who respected them, the right to speak Spanish, and to learn about their own culture. They also really wanted help getting into college, and their actions didn't just change their schools, they helped start something bigger, the Chicano Civil Rights Movement, a movement for fairness, for respect, and for equality. People like Lupe A. helped keep the movement going, and many of those students became leaders themselves. Now, here's the most powerful part. These were teenagers just like me. They saw something wrong, and instead of staying quiet, they spoke up. They stood together. And they made history. So if anyone ever tells you that you're too young to make a difference, remember the students of East LA. They walked out and they made the future. So thank you for listening to Echoes of History. I am Noah Hernandez, your host, and remember, your voice matters too.